Hello, citizens of YouTube. This is the Geeky Nerd here, and today we're going to be talking about a not so fun and good subject. Of course, I'm talking about the great ammo shortage of 2020. Bad time, quadruple whammy as far as why it occurred, and just definitely interesting to see how people react in the light of everything that's going on. When you take a step back and you look at it, it's essentially the perfect storm of everything. Of course, first we had the COVID outbreak, scare, quarantine, what have you. Pick your favorite phrase. And of course, that led to people saying, "Oh, quarantine, we're being locked down," and X, Y, Z. So, caused, of course, a mass run on guns, and then, by extension, ammunition, because people who already had guns, they just wanted more ammo in case they needed more ammo for whatever reason. And then same thing for new gun owners who are just getting the market, so they have to get their share of the pie because they feel like they have to catch back up on everything. I would say the second wave of it is when people started noticing, supply shortages as fallout from the COVID, from just factories closing and things along those lines. Because they were saying, "Oh, well, I can't get my toilet paper, I can't get my roast beef, I can't get my hand sanitizer. What am I not going to be able to get to next? Is somebody going to try to come and get my stuff?" Because as everyone saw, that there's people in the news, forcibly taking things from other people's shopping carts as they're going on the way of the car, which is just terrible. But so is the world that we live in. The fourth or the third thing that occurred, just in my opinion, as far as what led up to how crazy it is now, and how prices have almost doubled or tripled in some case. I mean, there's people out there selling 50 rounds of 9mm for $50 a box, $1 a round, where very beginning of the year, towards January, or even a bit before that, you're looking at 15 cents around, 20 cents around at the max. And now just standard ball ammunition is selling for what hollow point and premium ammunition is selling for. Just insane. So back to what I was saying, the third point is we started having the riots and just the general civil unrest and looting and rioting in urban areas and people fearing for themselves. So third run, before even we had a chance to ramp back up. So first thing, you had the corona, COVID, like I said, pick your favorite phrase. So we had that first. After we had that led to the first run, just generally everything. The second part, we had the scarcity of everything that then caused people to panic buy even more things that they said, "Oh, well, I need to have more of this." So the first wave, I want to say, didn't catch the people that already had firearms and ammunition off guard. I think it's the second one to where they said, "Oh, well, I might not be able to get this again." In addition to that, factories shutting down, so now people are wanting more of something that's being less of it's being produced. Well, with that, so then we had the rioting, the looting, just the general civil distress, which led to people being fearful, which led to another run on firearms and ammunition. So people already had firearms, they bought more ammunition because they said, "Oh, I don't know what this world's going to be." The people that didn't have guns, they wanted to get guns, especially now. So if they weren't scared by COVID and they weren't scared by just general scarcity, now this scared them, because then they realized if at times they would call the police and police wouldn't come in some of the higher urban areas, and then other cities were saying stand down officers and what have you. Not getting political here in any stretch of the means, just stating the facts of what was occurring. So with that, you had the third run, and now of course we have the fourth run, and starting to upcoming with it, and just again, it's a snowball effect. Or butterfly effect, if you want to, butterfly flaps its wings and, Tokyo gets destroyed by Godzilla. So then now we have the fourth run, which is the election coming up. So with the upcoming election, people don't know what the the heads of state is going to be, or who's going to be in control, and what the possibility of doing background checks on ammunition is, or whether or whether they're going to outlaw this or that or the other, or what have you. And then, of course, depending on which way it swings, it's either going to instill more panic buying, so it's just going to get this situation that we're currently in right now, as of September 1st, is going to get worse, or of course, if the current leadership stays the same in the United States, then pretty much everything's going to be back to normal, or hopefully, or we could have the flip side, and the current leadership staying in place could cause more riots, more looting, more just general civil distress, until it eventually fizzles out and people have had enough of it and say, okay, we would have to do something or go about your lives because we're with this elected official. So with that, you're having all these factors just culminate into a perfect storm. Now, it's terrible for people that caught off guard, and those people that were prepared, now they feel like they're not prepared enough, and yeah, it's just an unprecedented amount of time. Me personally, I like and use sgammo.com. Nice family-owned business. Always ship your stuff out in time. Well, they've of course been impacted by this whole thing, and now they barely have anything in stock, and when they do, it's gone in a matter of minutes, and I mean literal minutes. And if it's not gone in a matter of minutes, for example, I didn't buy this from SGM. This was actually from Midway USA. So don't do all the shopping there, but you got to diversify it. But these 100 rounds, when I bought this, you're looking at about, I think it was around like 28, 30 cents a round, give or take. And that was a bit high for then, and that was earlier this year. Now you're seeing these easily go for 60 cents a round, and sometimes even 70, and sometimes even 80, and depending where you go, it's just absurd. For what you're getting just for standard ball 5.56 55 grain ammunition. Like I was saying with the 9mm, people are selling this on Gunbroker for $50 a box, which is just ludicrous. But with that, now people always say get the most common calibers because, it's easy to find it in case if there's an outbreak or, civil unrest and all this kind of stuff that they've said for years. Well, what's the two things that are always that are in short supply now and that are the most costly if they're not? 9mm, 5.56, because there's the highest demand for them. Because most people have them. They know there's a market for them. Most people need it. There's a short supply of it, so laws of supply and demand there. So it kind of makes sense that the market would just adjust to it. The bad part of it is it's been going on for probably 3 months now. Like I said, there was a snowball effect in a place, but at some time the market's going to have to normalize or stabilize, and in order for that to happen, people either have to stop buying as much and just seeing a sale of 1,000 rounds and buying it up at 70 cents a round, because that's going to obviously incentivize the people who are selling it to keep selling it at that higher price. Also, it'll create more scarcity because it won't let it stay on the market long enough for it to depreciate in value or just kind of slowly stabilize back down to pre-Rona state. But then people need it, so eventually at some time it's going to have to break. Now, at the filming of this video, September 1st, 2020. Somebody probably in the future is going to maybe look back at this, maybe not, new YouTube channel, so might get buried under the weeds here. But I'd say the biggest contributing factor to whether this is going to subside by spring or by sometime next year at least is if the current leadership stays in play. Now, however, if the general populace and consensus says, no, we don't want this, we don't want Trump in office anymore, we want Biden, then this is only going to get worse, get exacerbated, and just completely go downhill. This 50 round box might be a literal gold bar almost. In fact, just like when back in 2013 when they had the magazine ban, people were selling Magpul magazines that you can get now for like $13, upwards of $100 a piece, which is again, it's just insane, crazy times we live in. But with all this said, of course, people want to still be able to shoot, and people still want to be able to enjoy themselves and not feel like that financial burden, because it's a hobby, and when your hobby starts taking a majority of your funds and your general your general finances and general time, and it requires you to kind of work to think about it, like to get some of these people who are staying up at 2:00 in the morning and raiding Bass Pro or have bots and going through all this thing just to get ammo, and they're just getting hundreds upon thousands of rounds of it, and then they're buying ammunition that's not even relevant to their caliber so that they can sell it. Or you get those unsavory individuals who would buy this box for when it is sometimes available. I think the best I've seen is on Midway USA, actually. I think it was 47 cents a round, might have been 50, and then they'll go back on Gunbroker and sell it for 70 cents, or 80 cents or what have you, or they'll just sell it, privately, which is definitely not the best practice, definitely not how you keep people. I mean, they're playing the short game, not the long game. Well, with all this said, there are a few shining examples of why it is good to just diversify. So instead of having these two calibers, while these two calibers are great, if these are your only two, you want to get a metric ton of them. And, when the prices are cheap, buy it cheap, stack it deep. Well, if you're looking to get in the market now and you're looking to still shoot and enjoy yourself, but not, blow your $50 box of 50 rounds of 9mm, you have certain specialty ammos and specialty, or not specialty, uncommon ammo that is starting to shine through. One of which is this Brown Bear 7.62 subsonic. So this is more like the specialty ammo if you have a niche field, if you own suppressors and things like that. With this, get this from KVAR, which is actually the importer of it. Very good stuff. Cycles reliably and is overall good stuff. I picked this up actually about a month ago, and I believe it was 34 cents a round, which for steel case is a bit, but it's a specialty ammo. And if you look right on Lucky Gunner, I saw Lucky Gunner having it for 40 cents a round. So while being specialty and while being a bit more expensive than like standard, steel case Barnaul ammo, as far as specialty wise, it's the only thing you can get really specialty wise, and it's cheap. 9mm subsonics, shoot, you're probably looking at even more than $50 a box if you were to believe those crazy prices. Now, I'm not saying that every single box is $50 a box, but it's out there, and taking advantage of some people who just don't know, who say, oh, well, that's the cost of ammo and these new gun owners, so it's kind of unfortunate. Same thing, like the Fiocchi 22 long rifle subsonic, good stuff, nothing wrong with it. Again, specialty ammo. Now this, some people are having it for around 14 cents a round, which for 22 is ludicrous. But for this, I believe I picked this up about 2 months ago for, I believe it was around 7 cents a round, which isn't bad at all, for, again, specialty ammo. Now, I have had ammo, I do have ammo previously, but it's always good to keep refreshing your stock just a little bit. Again, not saying you go out and hoard and just buy everything you have, but it's always good to have a little bit extra just lying around and feel like you can fill your need. One thing that is staying stable price wise but is increasing right now is Steelcase 7.62 by 39. So the venerable AK. If you own an AK, now's your kind of time to shine, because while the time of this filming, SGMO was having like their Golden Tiger for 34 cents a round. Or actually it was 36 cents a round. And then 3 days ago, it was 34 cents a round. And then 2 weeks ago, it was 30 cents a round. And then about a month ago, it was 28 cents a round. So it's slowly creeping up, but still a good little safe haven. So it's better to pay around 30 cents a round than 60 cents a round standard. Now, this you can get pretty much everywhere right now for 30 cents a round. This you can get everywhere for 60 cents a round. So, if bang for your buck, this is kind of coming out as the winner. Now, of course, this is reloadable. This isn't. Don't ever try to reload steel case. You're going to have a very bad day. But for the price you're paying, if you want to shoot, it's a nice option. One thing that is kind of sticking around that hasn't got the big shortages, but from like the previous runs of like 2013 and older, you realize 22 was out for years. You couldn't get 22. But this little Remington Golden Bullet, picked this up, local gun shop, $3. So, and that's like a couple days ago. So not a bad price at all. Actually, yeah, pretty bar standard, and they had plenty of this. And a lot of people are going after these bigger calibers because obviously these are, defensive calibers, like I said, with everything that's currently going on. But if you're still wanting to get out and train, get out and shoot, and just get out and have a good time, 22's always a saving grace. Now, these are going up. I saw a box of this going for 12 cents a round. Some of these are going for like $9 a box for 50. It's just insane. But if you look around and shop, you can get your you can get the most bang for your buck. But in short, the 22 and the 7.62, match made in heaven right now for everything that's going on. Cheap to shoot, still pretty plentiful, hasn't got the amount of sticker shock that everything else has. 9mm, 5.56, two most common calibers ever. Terrible time to buy right now unless you find a screaming deal. But if you have it, I'd hold on to it until we see where the current climate of everything goes. Specialty ammo, subsonics. Again, 22 and 7.62. So you see on either ends, 22 and 7.62. If you're getting standard or specialty, it's the go way to go. If you get standard or specialty and your 5.56, your 9mm, your common calibers like that, you're gonna have a bad time. Okay. But hopefully all of this changes. Sorry to kind of go on a bit of a rant here, but hopefully the climate changes. Hopefully everything turns out for the better, just for the sake of the nation, for the sake of the people, and just everybody in general. Because I think generally everybody is ready to cut the fat, for lack of a better word. Just kind of move on, have everything return to normal. Of course, everyone says this is going to be a new normal and this is not going to change. And while you don't want to hope for that, you do have to prepare for that. So if things don't change, strike now while the iron's hot. If you do find like a box of 9mm, I'd say right now for under 20, doing okay. If you find it for anything like a lot less than 20, like if you find something for 15 or 12, snatch that up as quick as lightning, because that's like a pre-Rona deal. Same thing, box of 5.56. I mean, if you find that for like $25-$30, snatch that up. 22, do not pay $10 a box for 50 rounds of 22. Just don't, because I mean, the only thing you benefit with this is if you wanted to get reloading, or if you have a friend who reloads, at least you can recoup some of your finances. With this, though, I mean, you can't reload 22. So, I mean, you can, but small scale, you really can't. The average Joe, mom and pop can. But with this 22, it's a good thing for the time. Same thing with, like I said, with the 7.62. Hopefully things change. We'll see. Future people or future citizens of YouTube. Hope everything works out. I hope everything turns out okay. Regardless of who's the leader, where we're going, what's happening. Hope everyone stays safe out there, and hope everything turns out for the better, both personally and the sake of the nation, and financially, just for everyone with how things are currently going on. So, if you stuck to the end of this video, thank you very much. Sorry to kind of go off on a bit of a ramble. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, comment on what you think, on what your kind of opinion is with this. It's very open to everyone's opinion. It's always good to have a good discussion around these things, just a general think tank, I guess you would say. But hope everything goes well. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you guys later.